Hi, I'm Akram. Today I'm here to announce something interesting because if you would have seen my YouTube channel, I have slightly changed the name. I made it Health and Lifestyle with Dr. Akram because I started posting more videos about lifestyle and travel, etc. But I'm here today to talk something which I haven't talked for a while. This is about the corona. Especially a lot of people have been asking me about this Indian corona.
But deaths from COVID-19 are still rising. More than 4,000 people have died in the past 24 hours alone.
But the true death toll may be even higher.
Experts say the official death toll of over
A second batch of Russia's Sputnik V landed on Sunday.
There is just one ICU bed with a ventilator. One ICU bed with a ventilator.
Indian corona is about. But everyone knows that World Health Organization has classified this Indian coronavirus as variant of global concern.
We've seen further clusters of the B1617.2, the variant first observed in it.
So that is something important. Everybody, I think we should be aware of it. And there's a few things which we need to concentrate on here. Why is this Indian variant and how did it come about? I mean, there are several variants of coronavirus, as you know, found around the world. Viruses work, generally by getting into our bodies and attaching to our cells, and they replicate themselves inside. They come into our body and hijack our cells, and they produce what they want. During this replication process, as cells try to copy themselves, they don't always come out the same, and the copies become slightly different. That's what we call mutations. So these mutations happen all the time. That's normal, and most of these mutations are generally harmless, but sometimes the mutations can change and they can be harmful. This is one of the things with the Indian virus. The fact is, the more cases of coronavirus, there are more chances they will mutate. The Indian variant contains some mutations in the coronavirus that was first found in India last year and has now spread to several other countries. So it is the same virus which was there before, but again it's spreading because generally it's spreading with Indian people traveling to other countries. We still don't know if it is transmitted through air to the other countries. Probably the countries nearby India like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka or Nepal. These countries still waiting to see. Why is this Indian variant or the variant of concern is it more dangerous? You might have heard the phrase double mutation in relation to the Indian variant, which can make it sound more worrying. But the truth is, of course, all the variants like UK, South African, Brazilian, they all had loads of mutations. Indian virus also had many mutations, but two of those mutations are really important to us because that changed the virus capability of attacking us. For example, that made the virus to attach more firmly into our cells and something else. As this particular virus has spread to several countries, the WHO has called the virus as global concern. Early studies also suggest that this Indian virus could be spreading more quickly due to that mutation, as we said. And scientists are keeping a closer eye on this virus and how it spreads and how it's going to spread. And they also believe this virus can cause people to be severely ill, and that's what's happening in India now, because we could see there about 3,500 cases of death a day. The virus is spreading very fast. I think it is almost India is top level now in the virus, but infectious wise India is the top already. And what we're doing to stop this virus spreading to other countries? Especially in the UK, we have a list of countries which we could travel and you can't travel, but India is in the red list, so Indians cannot come to UK. They can only come with the prior permission from the UK before they leave the country. But in case if they come to the country, they have to be isolated in the government approved hotels, and they will be given a test, and this test called a surge testing. This is to find that in case these people who came to UK, they are asymptomatic and still they carry the disease, and in case they found this surge test positive, the government can order a test around the place where these people had moved, especially people who have been in contact, or that whole area. It's rather we test it and we find out and isolate these people, so we don't let this virus escape into the large community. Well, are you more at risk of catching the Indian variant if you're Asian? That's a very good question. A lot of people ask me about it. Of course, the virus does not know if you're an Indian, Asian, if you're a Bangladeshi, or if you're from the UK or Brazilian. Virus will spread wherever it can. It doesn't know the color, it doesn't know the race, it doesn't know the language. But the virus which came, this special variant from India, came with people who traveled from India to the UK or to other western part of the world, America or other countries. So the virus, this particular virus, spread around their community, and especially we know Indian people, they love their families, they live very closely knit families, and of course the Asian people has a higher propensity to get infected with COVID because of underlying conditions like diabetes, heart disease, which is quite rampant in Asian population. But what can we do for this? Again, we should go to the basics, follow the basics, and whatever the government says, wearing masks, washing your hands, and limiting contacts with people, limiting contacts in the main areas, or limiting contacts in the public. These are the basics which you have to follow. In case you find any symptoms, you have to inform the authorities and you have to isolate and follow the guidelines. This is simple as it is. But now the next question is, this is the big question for everyone: will the vaccine work? Even at work today, in some nurses, they are originally from India, they ask, doctor, will the vaccine work? Because it's so dangerous it is. One of the nurses said her family member who is 35 years old, a fit person, died of corona in India. And this is not one case, there are lots of cases of these young people dying as well as the old people. Even a 6-month-old baby was infected with this new coronavirus. So this is something serious we have to take care. Again, let's go back to the subject. Will the vaccines work? The current vaccines were based on early versions of the coronavirus, but scientists still believe the vaccine should still work to protect people from becoming severely ill with COVID. So you are advised to still get your vaccine when you're cold. This is something, if you just think in common sense and say, rather than you don't have a vaccine, if you have a vaccine, you will have some amount of protection. Even if you get corona, you might get a milder version of coronavirus infection, a COVID-19. So what would you prefer? Would you get a severe version or a milder version? So take the vaccine. Our Prime Minister Boris Johnson, even he announced that the vaccines says about increasingly confident that vaccines will work against this Indian variant. So yes, there is something government says and our common sense says. So in case if you've been called to take your vaccine, please go and take your vaccine, and that is the only protection we have at the moment. Of course, apart from being careful, but the vaccines will protect you.
It cannot be left to the citizens to run around to find a bed. They are dying on the way to the hospital because they are going from hospital to hospital trying to find a bed. That's no way to treat our citizens. At
the same time, all the different variants are being constantly studied by scientists around the world. So if follow the local guidelines and keep an eye on the government guidelines and what they say on the latest evidence, and follow that. So thank you very much for being in this short video to update about the Indian corona. Please look after yourselves.